Where in the world do I find Labubus? Hey guys, it's Dottie. In today's video, we're talking all about Labubus. Like, where do you find a Labubu? How does one acquire a Labubu? Finding a Labubu is easy, but acquiring it can be a little challenging. And how to make sure a Labubu will end up safe in your collection. And how do you spot a Lafufu?
A Lafufu is a fake Labubu.
All right, you guys, let's do this. So hello to everybody who watched me unbox all these amazing Labubus. First, thank you for coming to watch this video. But if you'd like to see me unbox all these Labubus, I will link it down below. All right, you guys, I have pages of notes to help you out. So this video is going to be in 3 parts. 1, what are your best chances for finding a Labubu? 2, to make sure your Labubu is safe in your collection. And 3, how to spot a Lafufu, a fake Labubu. And I'll just say right off the bat, you guys, before we get into the 3rd part, if you want a Lafufu, I think that is fantastic. Nothing wrong with that. Part 1, where to find a Labubu. So I learned about Labubus maybe about a month ago, and the first thing I thought my viewers were really gonna like this. For those who don't know, I do a ton of blind bag openings on this channel, and I thought it was a perfect fit. So I got in my car and I drove to the closest Pop Mart, and I walk up to the sales associate and I said, "Can you tell me where the Labubus are?" And she looked at me like I was crazy. Now, she was very sweet and very professional, and she let me know that they are not selling Labubus in the store. Now, they do sell the tiny figurine blind boxes. They're about yay big. But what they do not sell in stores is the exciting macaroon series where they're all standing up. They don't sell the have a seat series where they're all sitting down. And they don't sell the Coca-Cola. Those 3 are the hardest to get. You can get very lucky, and they do bring them out. That is very rare. Even if it's a grand opening, there's no guarantee they're even going to be there. But in my opinion, with me trying to acquire all those Labubus for all of my awesome YouTube viewers, this, in my opinion, is the hardest to easiest ways to acquire a Labubu. Now, you may be watching this and say, "Oh, Daddy, I tried that other thing and it worked easy for me." And then I say, fantastic, they're so hard to get. I'm so glad that way worked for you. But for me, this is just what personally worked for me. Number 1, Urban Outfitters. Urban Outfitters does sell Labubus. They are an authorized retailer from Pop Mart. Now, I have seen videos of people buying them in the store, and they do sell online. The problem is I have never seen them restock. And I think out of all the videos I've seen, I've only seen one girl find them in store. So that, I would say, is the hardest. Next is StockX. Now, StockX is not a distributor of Pop Mart. So I have seen 3 different variations. I have seen people who buy a full case of Labubus and all of them are real. I have seen people who bought a full case, half were fake and half were real, and the rest who bought a full case of fake Labubus. In that case, StockX will take your Labubus back. But this way, to me, isn't really the best choice, because you really want to make sure if you're putting down that money, you're going to want to make sure you get all those Labubus that you paid for. And then once they go through the hassle of returning them. I know. AliExpress. There are a ton of fakes on the AliExpress website. There's many Lafufus to be had. But Pop Mart does have a store on AliExpress, and those have real Labubus. You just have to be careful to make sure you're actually buying from the Pop Mart store. In that case, you will get a real Labubu. You just need to be careful. Next is the Pop Mart vending machine. I put this in the middle of my list because it's 100% it's going to be a real Labubu. And not everybody has access to a Pop Mart vending machine. And when they do restock, they only have a few. So if the person in the front of the line is a reseller, they can take all of them. Now, the luck I have seen with people is they are there when the worker is refilling the machine, their first thing in the morning, or if it's in a mall really late at night, like you were in a movie and you came out and you're out in the mall, more than likely it's going to be restocked. So as I said, it's just as hard as everything else, but at least you 100% know that you are going to get an authentic Labubu. Next is Amazon. Amazon. Now, there's a ton of fakes on Amazon. So real quick, for those who do not know, the macaron series and the have a seat series are $21.99. So if you see a Labubu on Amazon that's for $15.99, it's a Lafufu. And there's a ton of Lafufus on the Amazon site. But there is an official Pop Mart store on Amazon, and they do sell the have a seat individually and a full case of the exciting macaron. The only problem is you don't know when it's gonna restock. There is no way for Amazon to let you know that they have restocked something. There's no way. So you have to keep like checking in to see if it's available. And then I would click on it and there it was. It was lit up. It was ready for me to buy, and it didn't work. And it happened all the time, you guys. I would put add to cart, and then it wouldn't show up in my cart, or I'd hit buy now, and it would say quantity has changed. No, I never had luck on Amazon. See, guys, these are all hard. But you guys, we're starting to sway a little bit into the easier category. I mean, just a little bit, but we are swaying there a little bit. Next is TikTok Live. Now, in the TikTok Live, I was able to score 2 of these. Now, it was towards the end of the night. There weren't that many people in the live, and that's how I was able to score 2 of them. It's a very arduous process to try to get one. For example, Pop Mart live streams on TikTok between 4 and 12 a.m. Pacific time, which is 8 hours. And in that 8 hours, they will spontaneously show it to you. They'll randomly say, have a seat, 2 minutes. But at this point, you guys, I'm not exaggerating. There's between 800 and 1,600 people in the lives, just fighting to get one. And by the time they're ready to sell one, there's about 2,000 people in the live. They'll hit a little bell and say it's for sale. And by the time that button turns red and you hit buy, it's already sold out. Oh, it's so frustrating. I once heard the host say for 2,000 people, there were only 9 boxes available. Man, is this turning into a depressing video? Oh no! So I did have success with the Coca-Cola. I just couldn't get these 2 series on that. The good news is if you do buy something off the TikTok shop, you're gonna get it in 3 to 5 days, which is really good. Now, here for me is the easiest way to get a Labubu, which has scored me a ton of Labubus. It is, drumroll please, Pop Now. Pop Now is on the Pop Mart website. At 7 p.m. Pacific, it goes live. Now sometimes you can get the exciting macaron, and sometimes you can get half a seat, and sometimes you can get both. And some days they don't even have them available at all. Now it used to be they did a drop every Thursday, and lately it's just been all over the place. As I film in this video, all of last week they had none, and I mean none, exciting macaron. All they had was the have a seat. Now I'm going to show you a quick screen recording of how it works. As you can see, all of the boxes are black and white. So what you want to do is you want to press on the arrow so it goes to the next box. And you're going to keep doing that until you're going to find a box that is fully lit. And then when you see a box that's fully lit, you have to hit it as fast as you can for it to go in your cart. And once it's in your cart, you have 15 minutes to purchase. Now, some people put it in their cart and they go back to try to find another one. I can't say I blame them, it's free shipping if you buy more than 2. Now, you have to remember, you guys, there are thousands of people that are trying to get these Labubus. So I recommend at 7 o'clock, log on. Sometimes they've released them as early as 6:50. So log on, keep checking. Now here's the thing, you guys, and this is so important. I cannot reiterate this enough. 2 things. 1, do not refresh too much. And 2, do not push the arrow too fast because they will think you are a bot. And if they think you are a bot, you cannot purchase anything. I went a little too fast one time and it kicked me out completely. So go slow. I also recommend not using your computer. Why is that, Dottie? Because, you guys, so if you're clicking on the arrow and a box lights up, by the time you move your mouse to click on one, it will be gone. Trust me, I would know. So on one hand, push the arrow. Second hand, keep your other hand ready to hit it. That is the best way that I have found all my Labubus. Now you can do a store pickup where you put it in your cart and then right at 7 o'clock you hit checkout. I've never been able to do it. I am convinced that it's bots because how quickly it goes. But the good thing about Pop Now, they're very aware of bots. So that's why everybody kind of has an equal chance. So that to me is the easiest way. If you decide to go with Pop Now, may the odds be ever in your favor and go fast. You think you're fast, you're not fast enough. Just go fast. Here is the second part of my video, making sure you get your Labubu. We got 2 pages of notes. So let's say you're on the Pop Mart website doing the Pop Now and you get a Labubu. Congratulations. It is so hard. You have earned that Labubu. Wait, tell me in the comments if you have. I'll be the first one to applaud you. It is so hard. I mean, Lychee Berry was the first one I found, and mwah, I love her. And now you are anticipating getting your Labubu in the mail. Woo! Now, as I said earlier, if you buy Labubu off TikTok Live, it's coming from the US. You're gonna get it in just a few days. You get it off the Pop Mart site, it's coming from China. And I have found, on average, it takes about 10 to 15 days to get your Labubu. And that's if your package doesn't get held up by customs. Now guys, when it comes in the mail, it's not coming from USPS, it's not coming from UPS, it's not coming from FedEx. They have their own shipping company. These are just private contractors. So when Lychee Berry or Lychee Berry was on the way, I stalked the tracking information to make sure I was gonna get it. I checked that morning and it said it was on its way for delivery. I was so excited and I waited and I waited and I waited and I checked the shipping information and it said failure to deliver. I'm like, what do you mean? I was home. I didn't get a phone call. I didn't get anything. I didn't even get a knock on my door. But I called the number and they did bring it in 3 days, which was really nice. But I never would have known they tried to deliver unless I checked my tracking information. So make sure you do that. Afterwards, I was super paranoid about making sure my package was delivered. Now I'm very fortunate. I work from home. I'm so grateful I get to make YouTube videos for a living. And I also have my mom that lives with me. So if a delivery was coming, I just let her know, like, hey, a delivery's on the way. What I'm trying to say is I always made sure somebody was home to make sure we got that delivery. Now, my very last delivery Labubus, I was getting 6 of them. And I got that text message from them saying they would be out for delivery. And I stayed at home. I was checking the tracking, and I was so grateful they called me to let me know that they were there. So I ran up to the front. There was the delivery worker trying to stack them all up for a picture. I'm like so excited. I see a ton of boxes and I'm just so thrilled I'm gonna get all my Labubus. So she takes her picture, she's in a hurry and she goes, thanks, bye. And she's running to her car. And I go to grab the boxes and the first box I see isn't mine. It was somebody else's Labubu. So I grab that box and I run so fast down the street. And I'm like, this isn't mine, this isn't mine. And then she went, oh, okay. She threw it in her car and drove off. I just think there's some poor soul out there that almost didn't get their Labubu. In the future, when I do decide that I need more Labubus for my YouTube channel, I will definitely be staying home for those deliveries as well for those reasons. So the big takeaway from this whole thing is you really have to be on top of the shipping. Tell your trustful neighbors, tell the people you live with, you have a very important package that's coming. And here's the crazy thing, you guys. Pop Mart boxes say Pop Mart on them. So like everybody knows that there's a Labubu on the way. I really wish Pop Mart wouldn't do that because they're so popular and they might get stolen. So tell trustful neighbors, tell your roommates, tell everybody you can to make sure that you get your Labubu safely for your collection. Part 3, how to spot a Lafufu. So let me just start off by saying there are a ton of fakes out there. As I said earlier in this video, if you want a Lafufu, I think that is fantastic. You should do what makes you happy. So here are my notes of how to avoid a Lafufu. Number 1, the price. As I said earlier, the Have a Seat series and the Exciting Macaron series are $21.99 for a box and $131.99 for a full case. The Coca-Cola is $39.99. Now Amazon has a ton of Lafufus, so if you're being charged $15.99 for one, it's definitely a Lafufu. Now there's a ton of secondhand places you can buy them. Like I know a lot of card shops had them, a lot of blind box stores have them, but these may be fake, you guys. And a lot of these secondhand stores are charging like $60 for one, and you don't even know if it's real. I hate to think you spend all your hard-earned money and it's fake. Let's say you get a box and you want to know if this is real. This is the box from the Exciting Macaron. Like I said, I did buy this off the Pop Mart site. Now the Exciting Macaron, this is raised. Like this is raised. And the box just feels really good. It almost has this like sound to it. So that's what it's going to sound like. And here, right here in the back is a QR code. Now even fakes have the QR code. But if it's official, you're gonna scan the QR code, you're gonna scratch this down here, and you're gonna put in the last 4 numbers into the Pop Mart site. And that will let you know if it's verified. Now some boxes will not say, there says Pop Mart, sometimes they'll say Op Mart, Pop Tart, any other variation of Pop Mart. That's how you know it's fake, so be careful of the spelling. So on the note with the funky spelling, even though the fakes do have the QR code, it'll still be like Op Mart, Pop Mart, Mart. So make sure that when you do scan this, it takes you to the official Pop Mart site. So you're gonna get a little card with your Labubus. This is from the Macaron series, this is from the Have a Seat series. These are bigger than you can think in real life. So this one is like a size almost of your fingers, with the little ears sticking out, so that's how you can tell if it's real. And the Have a Seat one is about the size of 4 of your fingers. So I think that's one really good way to tell if it's real or not. And also, if it doesn't come with any of these, then unfortunately you got a Lafufu. Now real Labubus, their heads will turn slightly, but it will not turn all the way. You can move the feet, but it won't stay, you know what I mean? So it'll automatically go back to where they put it in the factory. Now this also comes with a QR code on the side, but that still can be faked, you guys. Now on the Exciting Macaroon, the little holder is going to be gold plated. It's going to be gold plated. Now on the Have a Seat series, they're the colors that match the Labubu. So of course here's Dada with a tan ring. We have Hee Hee, or Hey Hey I should say, that matches the gray matches, and this is Dada, and Dada's pink matches the pink strap, matches pink with Dada. And this is also very important, you guys. Labubus have 9 teeth. They have 9 teeth. As you can see, they look very solid. I've seen them painted over. They just don't look right. But this is what the real teeth should look like. And you can see that it's a really good hairline. I've seen some of them where it's like really receded, but this is where the hairline should be. And unfortunately, I wish I can show this to you guys, but all Labubus have a little Labubu on the foot, but you need a black light to see it. My black light is currently not working, of course, because we're filming a video. But you have to make sure it looks really strong. The fake ones, they're really, really faint, but on a real Labubu, it'll be like a really strong color. And I'm looking through my notes and I think that's everything. Okay, just remembered one more thing. If you do buy off the Pop Mart site, not Pop Now, but on Pop Mart, you're only allowed 6 boxes or 1 case to be picked up at the store. So let's say you buy a case, you go to the store, they gladly give it to you, but under your same account, you get another full case, they won't sell it to you. But if you do the Pop Now, you can get as many as you want, but just remember, in store, it's only 6 boxes per Pop Mart account. Okay, now I really think that's all. Now, if I am forgetting anything and you think it would be useful to your fellow YouTubers to help find themselves some authentic Labubus, please put it down in the comments. These Labubus are so hard, you guys. I can't believe how hard these are to get these. So let's work together to make sure that we are getting the Labubus we want. I do want to add one more thing. I'm going to use my serious face for this part of the video. If you decide to try the Pop Now, which I highly recommend to get your Labubus, just know if you log on every day at 7 p.m. to get them, it can be very addicting. It's almost like playing a computer game and you're fighting with everybody else trying to get the one very hard item to get. And then you put it in your cart and you shake it and you see what you can possibly get. It can get very exciting. So I say this, it can become very addicting. These Labubus are not cheap. So just be wary that you don't find yourself getting too addicted to something. So just know that if you have an addictive personality, this kind of goes into gambling territory. So just be wary of that. Well, that's the end of the video. I am gonna take all of my Labubus and I'm gonna put them on my really big purse. I think they're so stinking cute and I'm really happy to have them, but I'm not gonna buy any more. I have enough for future unboxings and I'm happy with all the ones that I have. I hope you enjoyed the video, you guys. Remember, be kind to one another and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! Bye-bye.